Hey, it's Dane Scott along with Furvy.
Yes, I am.
And today, well, not every day is going to be a busy day on Fiverr. No matter whether you're just starting out or you're a big-time Fiverr entrepreneur, you will have your slow days. So what do you do with those days to make sure they're as profitable as possible in helping you to be able to kind of boost your sales and your traffic on your gigs by making changes? We'll talk about that coming up next.
The Gig Doctor.
As we speak, I'm working on the 5th Head Slapper video. These are videos that tell you how to make more on Fiverr. Indisputably, the 4 that I have out so far are in a bundle, and the 5th one, Head Slapper 5, is something you will not be able to buy and you will not be able to get for free, in a sense, because it's going to be a bonus for people who get the Head Slapper bundle. So if you go to headslapper.com, or rather to gigdoctor.com/headslapper, or just go to gigdoctor.com and click on Head Slappers and order the bundle, as soon as Head Slapper 5 is done, that's going to go to you. And this is one of the very best ideas and techniques I've ever come up with. So, get over there right now and check that out if you'd like. Let's move on. When I was in radio, I heard one of our salespeople say, and he was one that sold the radio ads, at the station. He commented, it's chicken one day and it's feathers the next. And that about sums it up for sales in general, across the board. It's true that really for every company that there are going to be days when you're living high on the hog, and then there will be days when you're whistling for your dinner. Well, enough of the catchphrases here, but Fiverr is no different when it comes to sales activity. Even for some of the most successful sellers on the platform, there will be days when there's just more than enough work, and other days where it's just definitely the opposite, when things are quiet for you. And that's a time when you can actually kind of regroup and be thinking about things you can do to improve what you're doing on Fiverr in ways that will help to bump your sales back up.
That's right. Yep.
Well, there are always more things that you can do to improve your gigs. So that's a good place to start. Use some of your slow time to visit each gig you offer and think like a buyer. What words are they likely to search for that you might not have considered? And add them. What else can be done to brighten up and simplify your gig image? Research your competition, too, for ideas. If you can't find ideas by that method, researching the competition, frankly, you're just not trying hard enough. There are always new ideas you can get, and good ones, by researching the competition. And expand it beyond Fiverr, too. Do some searching, similar searching, in Google, and brainstorm some additional ideas by seeing what comes up there. Never stop improving your gigs. As a side benefit, Fiverr will sometimes give you a boost in search just for making the effort. If you look at those scatter charts, in your gig analytics, you might notice that the dots for the days when your gig rose up in the rankings are the very same days when you updated your gigs. Fiverr has a cool little feature, slightly buried, that lets you tag clients who have contacted you. So this is the next suggestion here. What you can do is to come up with a custom tag, and I'll actually have a little video clip that I'll show here that will indicate where you can find this. What I like to do is to call one quote follow-up. So I have a tag called quote follow-up. So you can roll your own tags, and that's one of them that I like to use. Once I have sent somebody a quote, then at the same time that I send them the custom quote that they requested, I immediately reach up and I tag that customer, that buyer, with quote follow-up. Okay, so later I can choose to display a list of those buyers who I've tagged along the way and see which ones that I should still follow up with. By following up, I mean just simply sending them a message like, hey, just checking back in to make sure you receive my quote and to see if I can help answer any questions. Simple as that. If a buyer is still deciding who they want to use, they're going to notice that maybe I was the only one who bothered to take the time to follow up with them. So that helps me to keep front of mind with the buyer, and it increases my chance that they're going to order from me instead of somebody else.
That's a really good idea.
I recommend that you do this every single day, whether it's been slow for you or not. Check those quote follow-ups. If you do a search, over on the left side, there's a place where you can filter your search. and there will be a tag that you can click there that will be your custom quote follow-up tag, and that will list out all of the ones that you've tagged in that way, and it will show the most recent ones at the top, which is very convenient because those are the ones you probably want to start with when you're following up. Now, the next thing, unless you have intentionally chosen to keep your gig online at all times, there will be times of day when Fiverr will assume that it's bedtime for you in your time zone and will communicate that to your buyers. That little thing can potentially deflect a buyer who's considering you along with maybe some others. They see that, okay, you're not available right now, so they look to somebody else. But there's an easy fix for that. In the Fiverr app, not on your computer, but on your phone, the Fiverr app there, you'll see an option where you can constantly indicate that you are online. You go to your profile and you make sure that the seller mode switch is turned on. And then just leave it that way. Problem solved. Definitely do that. And don't worry that you're somehow compromising yourself when your head hits the pillow. It's not a situation where, all things are going to break loose and you're going to have trouble if someone happens to try and contact you overnight. So, yeah, you get up in the morning, you have your coffee, don't get all panicky about it, and then go ahead and answer your messages. You'll be fine. Next is buyer requests. And yeah, I understand it. I get it. I did a video course where I called it the swamp. But buyer requests can be useful. The problem is that a lot of the buyer request people, they want the world from you and they don't want to pay much for it. But if things are slow, take the time to weed your way through them. Some days you may not find anything that you can justify doing. But some days you definitely will. So try answering them. And if you do, take the extra time to put a little thought into your answers. Don't just paste some pre-written code in or pre-written text. If they're looking for a cowboy voiceover, for example, start your answer maybe with "Howdy, partner," and then type in your message. If they need a WordPress website done, mention something specific they talked about in their listing when you reply to them so that they can see that you took the time to understand their needs. Sometimes you'll connect with somebody who's just a great buyer through buyer requests. It happens. It has happened to me. I have one buyer who, if my memory serves, I first connected with them by this method through buyer requests. And since then, believe it or not, we have done nearly 500 orders together. So you can definitely justify buyer request effort. Just approach buyer requests as something that is more than a lifeboat on a slow day. Try to take it as seriously as you can under the circumstances and answer any that you can reasonably answer. Now, the next thing, if you go to any one of your gigs, you'll see a Share Your Gig button in the upper right corner. Click on that and choose to copy the link. Then share it around in social media, email, and on your website, everywhere you can think of. Consider offering some sort of special offer along with it. Follow this link and request a custom quote, and I'll give you your first order for half price, or I'll give you your second order for free, or something like that. Fiverr loves when you share social links around.
Nom nom.
It's like candy to them. Use the Share Your Gig button, and don't just copy the URL from the top of the browser page. That's not the one to use. Use the shared special link so that when people click on it from the outside, it's got a little code written into it that triggers Fiverr to let them know, okay, this person actually is promoting. They're sharing this link outside and drawing people into the site. And so they give you credit for your efforts there. Fiverr sees that you're promoting and you're funneling people in from the world at large, and that can definitely, take it from me, I can prove this because I've experienced it. This can definitely help you in your search rankings. So there are 5 ideas, ways that you can help to kind of boost things up on days when it's slow. Don't let those days just go by idly. Take good advantage of them, and they may make the slow days less common. So let me hear some comments from you. Next, what things do you do on slow days to help boost your performance on Fiverr? If you need some help with your Fiverr gig, I hope you will take the time to visit thegigdoctor.com, thegigdoctor.com. Check out the Head Slappers. Get those if you would like. Again, Head Slapper 5 is coming out, and that is going to be free if you have the first 4, and number 5 is a good one. So, all right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, I think.
Hello, cutie pie.
Until I heard the voice, I'd never done a crazy thing in my whole life.
Goodbye.
Bye.